Hello there, fashion designers. You're most welcome to another sewing tutorial with Daman Clothia. So, if this is the first time you are coming across this channel, you are most welcome. Kindly click on the subscription button and don't forget to put on your notification bell as well. So, in today's tutorial, I'll be learning how to make this simple dress for a 10-year-old. And the fabric I'm making use of is an Ankara fabric, and I have just 2 yards of fabric right here, and I want the full length of this dress to be 35 inches, which means that the half length is going to be 12 inches and the skirt part is going to be 23 inches. So because this is a simple dress, so the gathered part, the skirt part of this skirt, to cut it out, I'm just going to fold this fabric into two. I'll mark 23 inches. Please know that this 23 inches includes the hemming and joining allowance. So I'm going to mark 23 inches and I'm going to give it a straight cut. Okay, so it is the remaining part of this fabric that I'll be using to cut out the upper part. So I'm just cutting out the skirt part right now. We'll be gathering it and I'm just going to place it aside so we can work on the front part right now. So go ahead to cut out a piece of fabric that will be enough for the front parts of this dress. Okay, and I'm gonna ahead to draw out a straight line, which is a shoulder line. So from that shoulder line, I'm measuring 3 inches for the neck width and 3 inches for the neck depth as well. Then I'll connect that into a straight neckline. So on the starting line, I'll go ahead to take half of a shoulder to shoulder measurement, which is 6 inches. I'm going to note that 6 inches. Then I'll take a shoulder slope of 0.75 inches. Then I'm going to connect it to the neck width. From the shoulder slope, I'll come down by 6 inches for our armhole. Then I'm going to draw a straight line across. So on that straight line, I'm going to divide that 6 inches divided by 2, which is 3. I'll mark that 3 inches and I'll take half of an inch inward for our armhole curve. So the next thing I will do is to input our round bust measurement on that armhole line. So our round bust measurement divided by 4 plus sewing allowance that I'm adding is 8 inches. So from the shoulder line, I'm going to come down to half length, and that is exactly what I have right there. So I'm going to take around waist measurement divided by 4 plus 2 inches sewing allowance right there, which makes 8.75. Then I'm going to connect it right to the bust line, then I'll cut it out. So after cutting out, the next thing I will do is to take a fresh piece of fabric that is wider than what I have for the front piece, and this is what I'll be using to cut out the back piece. Okay, so the reason why it has to be wider is because of the zipper allowance, and I'll be working with 1.5 inches zipper allowance, which means that all other parts of this fabric has to be equal, okay, except for the zipper allowance line. So I'm going to cut it open and cut through the side, the armhole, the shoulder, and also I'm going to be notching the neck width because that is the only part that I need. If you want your neckline to look exactly like what I have on the screen, you're not going to cut it the way I'm about to cut mine. On the neck width, you're going to come in by 2 inches before you now take the depth of your neckline. Okay, but because I just want mine to have a rope without it looking that way, so just look at how I'm going to do mine. So at the neck width, I'm going to be coming down by 9 inches because it is a deep neckline. I'll be coming down by 9.5 inches, please, 9.5 inches, and I'll be using my curve rule to just connect it. And if you want it to be a really v-neck, you have to use a straight ruler instead of using a curve rule. So the way I positioned my curve rule, I positioned it just before the zipper allowance line, as you can see me doing, which makes the shape of my horn to be quite different. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, so after taking the depth of your neckline for the back, you go ahead to cut it out. So this is what mine looks after I was done cutting, and I'm just going to attach the rope at the neck there. If you don't want yours to look this way, you can go ahead to follow the explanation I made earlier. And after I was done cutting, I've gone ahead to cut out lining piece for both the front and the back. So what I'm going to do is to open up the fabric and put on the lining on the right side, and I'm going to be taking it to my sewing machine to join the neckline, the armhole and the side. You know, it's a sleeveless dress, so you have to close the armhole as well. So you leave the shoulder and the waistline open. You go ahead to do the same thing for the back piece as well. So you place your lining on the back piece, making sure that you are placing the lining on the right side. You go ahead to join the neckline, the center back, the armhole and the side back for both sides of the back piece. So after I was done joining, this is what I have. So if you've gotten to this stage as well, go ahead to turn it to the right side. Make sure you turn the pointed edges correctly as well and give it a very good press. So after turning out, the next thing we are going to do is to place the back piece on the right piece, on the front piece rather, and we'll be joining the shoulders. So because we have joined the armhole, to join the shoulders, it means that we have to be inserting one piece of the front part into the other. You're going to be inserting one piece of the shoulder into the other, as you can see me doing. If you don't understand, just look at what I'm doing. You insert it from one piece and then you just insert your hand into the other fabric and just use your hand to collect it the way I just did. You arrange it properly, you take it to your sewing machine to stitch it down, and then you do the same thing for the other side of the shoulder as well. Just look at what I'm doing and go ahead to do the same thing for the other shoulder. After passing the shoulders one into another, this is what I have after stitching it. And as you can see, I've gone ahead to stitch the sides of both the front and the back together, and I've taken in the dart as well. So go ahead to do the same thing on your own. So for the back, you can see what the back looks like. If you don't want yours to be as wide as this, just make sure you are using a straight ruler to cut out your own. But for me, this is what I have. Okay. So right now I'll be introducing the skirt, and I'll just go ahead to open up the top part this way. And as you can see for the skirts, I've gone ahead to gather it, and this is what I have. So this is how I'm going to be placing it. But because I'll be adding lining, I'm just going to flip it over on the top this way because I want the lining to conceal the rough edges, so I won't need to overlock it again. Okay, so you are going to be placing the right side of the skirts on the right side of the top. I hope you understand what I just said. And for the lining as well, I've gone ahead to gather it as well, and the end part I've gone ahead to hem it down as well. So I'm going to be placing the lining under the top, and the right side is going to be facing the right side. The right side of the lining of the top will be facing the right side of the skirt lining. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say, and if you don't, kindly look at what I'm trying to do right now. Okay, so the right side of the top is going to be on the right side of the skirts, while the lining is going to be underneath, and then you're going to take it to your sewing machine to sew it down, just like I've illustrated. So this is what I have after I was done joining. You can see that the lining has concealed the rough edges. So, and you see how neat this is looking. So the next thing we are going to do is to flip it over to join the sides. Just look at what I am doing. You are going to flip it this way to join the side. Make sure that both side aligns. Make sure that the lining aligns as well. So the next thing you are going to do, from the zipper allowance, you are going to be measuring the length of your zipper opening, the length of the zipper opening that you want to use. And after you must have gotten that, the remaining part of the fabric that is left, you are going to take it to your sewing machine to close it. Just as I'm using my hand to illustrate right now, you take it to your sewing machine to close it down. You attach your zipper, and also you hem the down parts of the dress. You fold by half of an inch and you further fold by half of an inch. Then you sew it all round. And so after I was done, this is what I have. I so much love this dress, and I'm sure that an adult can actually wear this. Of course, an adult can wear this. So the next thing I will do is to introduce the rope. You know, I explained earlier that if you don't want to attach your rope this way, you can just follow the illustration that I made earlier. So for this rope, one piece of the rope is going to be 22 inches long. Okay, because I'm making use of a bias and the length is 42, and I'll be cutting it and placing it on both sides of the dress, which is 22 inches long. So what I'll do is just to attach it to the shoulder width towards where we join the shoulders. Just take it to your sewing machine and just do that. And if you don't want it to have a rope, you can just leave it this way. But I feel the rope is actually the beauty. Even though without it, it's still going to be pretty. And as you can see, it's already looking pretty. So just go ahead to do that, and we are done. You can just style the rope in whatever way that you want to style it. So this is the end of this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching till the very end. Don't forget to like, share, and of course subscribe to this channel. And whatever you feel about this sewing tutorial, let me know in the comment section. Thank you once again, and see you in my next video. Bye.